Hello there, it's Sean, and I'm making this video to answer a very common question that I always get. Ever since I've been closing full-time remotely for the last 5 years, one of the most common questions that I always get is, Sean, can I do this part-time? Now, before I answer that question, let's define your definition of part-time, because different people, different contexts, different people, different situation, and I can't give you a one-size-fits-all answer, but I can give you some templates, okay, to refer to. So what do I mean? Like, for example, some of us, not me, we are in our early 20s or even younger than that, and you guys have time. You guys have time to really learn this outside of school, during your break, on and off, and it can really be a form of personal development. And you want to look at it at a long game, and I would suggest that you learn as much as you can. Okay, don't limit yourself to any one skill. You can stay and build a skill for like 3-5 years, and you will still be like 25. So if you have time, then immerse yourself, get experience in as many skills as you can. Setting, closing, copywriting, funnel building, what have I said? Setting, closing, copywriting, funnel building, building systems, trackers, building, leading sales teams. I can only say what I've learned before. So these are the skills that actually allow me to build all the things that you see that I have today, because I did not limit myself. I did not say, oh, that's out of my job scope. I did not say, oh, that is not something I want to put in effort in. If I see the relevancy of that skill, like 5-10 years down the road, as in like 5 years ago, I knew that all these skills that I have today is not going to be easy to build, but I really want to learn them because I don't want to depend on anyone, anything, a job, a boss or that kind of thing. I want to have my own thing. And so my approach learning all these skills was, I always want to build my own thing. So that's the approach I look at it. So if you're young and you have time, okay, play the long game, and the older you grow, the more these skills will pay dividends, because then now you have experience, you have all the skill sets that can allow you to cross-pollinate ideas, cross-pollinate skill sets. And then you'll notice that your peers, they don't want to learn different skills, they stay in their dimension, or worse still, they are one-dimensional. But you're complete because you use your time well. Okay, so that's one template. So if that's you and you are consuming my stuff, or you're learning about like remote sales, don't have this mentality that, oh, I see other people making so much money, I see my friends, my peers making so much money, so I gotta be fast, I gotta have that sense of urgency, I want results next week, I want to be certified right now, and I want to be placed right now, and I want to make 6 figures right now. Usually those that talk like that, like 4 weeks later, I don't see or hear from them anymore. Okay, so don't compete, don't compare. I've seen so many people who lose themselves completely just because they compete and they compare. Look at yourself, and look at yourself long term, and look at how these skills can complete you in the long term. Like for me, I started when I was 29. Before that, I was doing my own martial arts business. And then when I came into the online space, learning how to set, learning how to close, I was already 29. So 5 years later now, as of this recording of this video, I'm 34. And the last 5 years, I did what I always think that I should have done when I was your age, as in to those of you who are in your early 20s or even younger than that. Wow, I should have learned these skills in school, man. I should have learned these skills outside of the time when I was in army. I had some extra time. I wish I had woken up earlier, but this is where I am and this is how I started. So that's what I can say for people who are of this category, okay? Now, on the other hand, another very popular template or scenario or situation or archetype that I always see is people who really really have that sense of urgency, and it is not coming from that immature place of competing or comparing. It's actually coming from a very mature place of, I have bills to pay. Like, I'm a real adult. I have bills to pay. I have mouths to feed. I have family members to take care of. So I need to be very stable. And most of these people are usually in a 9 to 5. They are usually have years and years of corporate experience, if not sales experience, if not business experience, and they have made money. And it's not that it's not enough, and it's not that they don't have money. It's just that after all these years, they're very burnt out. And depending on which country you're from, I've heard so many different stories, like commute to work, rush hour, traffic jam, 3 hours gone. Work the whole day, you work overtime, difficult bosses, difficult colleagues, you do more and more projects, you do more and more responsibilities, and your pay remains the same. Then another 3 hours rushing home, rush hour, commuting back to home. By the time you reach home, you're so drained that you don't have time for your family. You don't have time to do what you need to do to heal and feel great about yourself again. And you don't even have time for yourself. And that is why people look at, well, I can do sales, or I can learn how to do sales. So is this online sales thing really a thing? And I'm so surprised when people tell me that they have closed millions and millions of dollars worth of deals in physical sales, or during their time in corporate or in their job. And then when they come into this space, their first question is how to find opportunity. So there is a gap, and there is that sense of urgency, because they are taking the attitude that they have in their career to try and transition and do the same thing, because they know that with their experience and what they have achieved, by right, doing this in the online space should not have to be that difficult. But because they're not that informed, they haven't seen the rest of my videos yet, they buy tens and thousands of, they spend their savings, all those years they work, they take their savings and then they invest in closer programs. And I can't say if all programs are good or bad. It's very difficult to say. But when they don't get what they expect they're going to get, then it's very demoralizing. They lose their minds, they lose their investments, and they're like, I wish I had seen your stuff earlier. And some of the main trainings I'll recommend, especially if you're thinking of this part-time, full-time thing, the main question is really, what's my strategy to transition? What's my strategy to transition? And if you haven't already done so, you should check this one particular training that I have. It is just search how to transition, and then my name, Sena. You should see a thumbnail of me wearing a red t-shirt. And in that video, don't treat it like, oh, it's a free training, I can watch it in my car. I know some of you do that. Yeah, I watch it when I wash my dishes. I know some of you do that. I want you to treat this training as though you paid good money for it, because the exercises that I put in are real exercises. You know how you guys, when you buy stuff, you always want to test it out? Like you guys, when you buy cars, you want to test drive your car, right? Why not a career? Why not a new skill? So it boggles my mind how people are willing to part with all that money on something they don't know. And there's no way they can test drive what's behind what they are about to invest, and then they invest, and then when it's not a match, it's too late. That's why I created this training. So don't say, oh, it's on YouTube, it's a free training. No, I would suggest you take it as something you paid good money for. Sit down, block out all distractions, and I think I'll put the training in the description or the comments below. Okay, go do it, because the exercises in there allow you to experience what is it like to not travel to work, okay? To not have a boss tell you what to do, to not have a preset list of tasks where if you fulfill it, you win. It's not that linear in remote sales. That's why so many people who are so successful outside of our online world, when they come in, they struggle, because it's a different set of rules. You are your own boss, okay? You are an entrepreneur. You are in business for yourself. You are selling yourself. You are a freelancer. And the game is different, because you don't travel to work, you have no boss, you have no predetermined tasks. You are actually planning, strategizing, and deciding all these things for yourself. So in that sense, every step is a risk. So the whole job mentality that you used to have, that has to go. You need to find the entrepreneur in you. You need to find the risk taker in you. You need to find the leader in you, and approach this training and do the exercises so that you get a taste of what is it like to sit down in front of your computer, in front of your phone, at the times that you set for yourself. So your self-discipline must be very, very strong. Nobody come into my house and say, Sean, you've got to role play. Sean, you've got to brand yourself. You've got to differentiate yourself from these thousands and thousands of other setters and closers. You've got to proactively find opportunities for yourself. You have to self-source opportunities. You have to filter fast. You have to interview them back. You have to qualify them back. You have to test drive the time in this new team. If it's not a fit, Sean, you have to leave. If it's a fit, Sean, you have to wake up. Time to wake up, you wake up. Time to prospect, you prospect. Time to book calls, you book calls. Time to take calls, you take calls. No one say this to me. So if you're the kind of person that, and be honest, if you do that training, my training on how to transition, and you really don't think that you have the entrepreneurship, self-driven leadership blood in you, paying 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 for more closer programs, where module 1 is fix your mindset, module 2, go DM a bunch of people, module 3, join a bunch of Facebook groups, module 4, go and role play, module 5, buy my guaranteed placement, module 6, buy my next thing. That will not change you into a leader of yourself. That will not bring out the leader in you. You need to find that leader in yourself. Then you buy all these different courses as a way to upgrade yourself. But if you depend on these courses, if you depend on the guarantees that they sell you, you will always depend. And I can tell you, in the remote world, it's a very convenient place. At the same time, because of the convenience, yes, you can make money, you can find good people, you can find good opportunities at the same time. Guys, this is the internet. So, all kinds of people, all kinds of things can happen. So if you depend, what do you think are your chances of moving up the learning curve? You must depend on yourself. So you do the training, then you know. You do the training, then you can build that belief that, okay, I've completed Sean's missions. I can do them well, and I understand why I do them. I can see my progress. Texting people to book sales appointments, I can do it. It's just texting on my phone. Getting on Zoom, nowadays all our calls are on Zoom. At least that's how I do my calls. Go on Zoom, talk to people. How hard is that? I can learn, right? I can practice. I can get the hang of it. So once you do the training, then you know. Then you define. The training will teach you how to define your part-time, because your part-time is unique to you. You don't ask me, I receive a lot of questions all the time, like, must I work on Saturdays and Sundays? How do you want me to answer that question? Do you want me to give you the permission and say, no, you don't have to. You work Mondays to Fridays. Wednesday, you take a half day off. Thursday, you have dental benefits. Friday, you can, get a medical certificate and stay at home, and then you don't have to go to work, and then claim your employee benefits and have a nice day. Is that what you want to hear from me? To tell you that this is easy? Because this is not easy. I have to be very, very self-disciplined. Make a lot of sacrifices that people are not willing to make to have the life and freedom that I have today. It's a very funny thing. You work so hard just to have the freedom that you can work hard on your own terms. Then you learn how to work smart. It's a phase. Okay, so no, I can't tell you which day you want to work. I would rather ask you, do you want to close sales on Saturday? Do you want to close sales on Sunday? Nobody can give anyone permission. You have to really think for yourself. If you want to ask me, I can tell you that my days have no names. Like sometimes my wife will tell me that, oh, tomorrow is a public holiday, or like Monday is a public holiday. Sure, in my country, Singapore, it's a public holiday, but when you work in remote sales, every day is the same. Every day is a chance for you to hit your KPI. So why would you rest? Of course, it's your responsibility to pace yourself well. But my Saturday is the same as my Tuesday. my Wednesday is the same as my Sunday. I don't have this state of mind where it's Saturday and then my frequency drop and then I'm like, I think I'm going to sleep in today. No, my inbox is still piled. My email is still piled. My calendar is still full. And then on Sunday, I don't sink into this state or it's a family day, I am going to rest. My computer still looks the same. My phone still looks the same. Okay, so I have learned to pace myself well. I've learned to find fulfillment in this skill. So that's the reason 5 years I can do this full-time. And my definition of full-time is I never had like a plan B. I never had a side hustle. I never have a backup job or anything. The whole time 5 years, I'm on my phone. I'm on my computer. And my phone has changed, my computer has changed, but the skill, I continue to do it because the more I do it, the more fulfilled I become physically, financially, mentally, even spiritually. I just love it so much. So I consider myself lucky to have found this alignment, or I work to cultivate this alignment. And I think this is something that is so unsexy to market. It's easier to sell you, make 10K in 90 days, and I guarantee whatever objections that you might have. You cannot find opportunity, I guarantee you placement. You cannot find a date, I guarantee you a date. You cannot find a wife, I guarantee you a wife. It's so much sexier to market the programs this way. And why would you believe that? Would a doctor need a guaranteed patient? Would a lawyer need a guaranteed client? Or you want to join my dating program and I guarantee you a wife or a husband? So when I put it this way, it sounds ridiculous. So you as a salesperson, why do you need someone to guarantee that you can prospect and close someone so that you can set and close for them? Okay, so this is the whole mindset that I have, and this is the whole strategy that I have, and the tactics and the techniques and the training are all in my transition training. So please go do that after that, and then reach out on social media, send me your work, send me your questions, send me your assignments. And the last thing I'll say is that I know the ones who really ask that question are in a 9 to 5, and you're really planning on how can I structure my day so that outside of work, I can build this to a point where I can close enough sales so that if I want to continue working, it's because I choose to. Otherwise, I can fire my boss. I know that's where you're coming from. And I'm not going to promise you that it is completely possible. First of all, I don't know what job is it that you do. I don't know what your working hours are like. I don't know what is your state when you get home. I don't know what is your environment for you to take calls. I don't know what is your physical working environment like if you were to work remotely at home. I don't know how fast you learn. I don't know what you know and don't know. I don't know your learning style. So if I don't know all these things, I'm not going to guarantee you that you're going to come in and make 10K in 90 days. And I'm not going to guarantee you that because of your setup, you can succeed in this or that team if I place you there. That would be a lie because I don't know enough to make you that promise. And why would I make someone a promise if I am completely unsure if I can fulfill it? All I can say, and let me know if this makes sense, if I were in your shoes and I work 8 to 6, okay? First of all, what time am I home? Because that is my place where I do my remote work, right? The first phase that you need to have is the studying phase. And please don't have this mentality where you're going to succeed in 6 weeks. I cannot guarantee that either. There will be a phase where you have to study. And studying means having the self-discipline. I come home, right? I eat fast. I imagine if I work, I get home, I'll be hungry. I'm a hungry man. So I will fulfill that need first, fast. Ideally, if I can start 6:30, latest by 7, that's when I start studying. And I will probably sleep at 10:30 because I have a long day the next day again, right? Sleeping early is the discipline of every athlete. It's a funny thing, and only athletes know this. A lot of people think that you discipline yourself very hard to train, discipline yourself very hard to eat. Actually, those things are much easier. It's disciplining yourself to sleep. That's the difficult thing. And that's a skill that all athletes know, that time to sleep, we must sleep. So as a sales athlete, time to sleep, you also need to sleep. The next day you need to perform. Okay, so I would sleep at before 10:30, which means that I have 3 hours. During these 3 hours, I'm not gonna say, oh, close sales make money. Why? Because I don't even know how to do anything yet. So I need to study. I need to study how to brand myself. And I have a lot of content for you to do that. Just go search my channel. I need to study what's my strategy to have a pipeline of opportunities for myself that I self-source, not that I wait for someone to give me. Because if they give me, I wait for 6 months and I get that one opportunity. Wow, that one opportunity is so precious and I'm gonna lose my shit if I lose that opportunity. But if I have my own pipeline, I can always feel secure knowing that you reject me, I have so many more opportunities in my pipeline. That puts you in a completely different state. So I will study my brand, I'll study my strategy, and I'll study obviously my skills. If it's a setting position, I need to practice. I need to learn. If it's a closing position, I need to practice, I need to learn. And all these things I can say to you is because that's what I built. Not in such a nice, streamlined, organized order that I can teach you today. Because when I was doing it, there was no Sean to guide me. And 5 years ago, there weren't all these overnight coaches selling the same thing. I was figuring everything I'm telling you right now in a very ugly and messy way. Just now I know how to streamline and organize it and tell you that it's your brand, strategies, your skills. And all three, don't ask me what sequence. You have to do it concurrently. And it will be messy. It will be messy. Entrepreneurship is messy. You're going to do your brand and then you feel secure with it. You move on to skills and then you realize like, okay, I'm not too strong on my mindset. You go do your mindset, you realize my skills wise, I'm not too good on rapport. I do my rapport, I realize my brand needs an update. Then I have an interview tomorrow and then I just book a call. And then you just go through this messy phase of moving up the learning curve. Again, don't ask me how long this takes. I can only tell you, I took 4.5 months with no guidance to cross my first 5-figure month. Cash collected, USD. I start earning towards there and I start building towards there. And the first 3 months, psychologically, it really broke me. It's me in my room figuring this out. It really broke me many times. Okay, that's without guidance. Today, with guidance, my students, on average, some of them can land opportunities, qualified ones, in 17 days or less. I'm not saying you can, I'm saying I've helped my students do that. Okay, some of them take 3-4 months to cross their 4-5-figure milestone. And it is a process. At first, they'll be stuck, and they try, and they're stuck, and they get demoralized, then they want to quit, and I coach them, and they try, and then they get demoralized, and then they want to quit. And then about 2-3 times, those that cannot make it, they quit forever. It's too traumatizing. Then, those that survive about 2-3 times of this, once it clicks, their income is exponential. So it's stuck, and then once it clicks, they just book calls, close. You check out the other testimonials of my students. Once it flows, then it just starts flow because it's all aligned already. They found a good team, the calls are coming in, and the prospects are nurtured, they're ready to buy. All the right elements aligned. Okay, and then you cannot ask me, how can I align all these elements today? Of course, if everybody wants, all of us want to have this today, then everyone you know at work, at school, at home, they will all be remote closers. How many people do you know are doing this full time? It's not a lot because the learning curve will eliminate those who cannot survive this independent journey. And then there are those that try to rely on communities, okay, and good and pros and cons. Sometimes the communities propel them to greater heights and uncover their potential. Sometimes the communities become a new comfort zone for them. So everything is pros and cons. But at the end of the day, if you are independent, you will find a solution for yourself. So I hope this video answers the question of, can I do this part-time? Okay, every situation is different. Everything has its own pros and cons, and every individual has a different schedule, different learning style, different needs. So the question you need to ask yourself is, what is my personalized strategy that is going to work for me in the mid-term? I don't want to say short-term, I don't want to say long-term. Okay, mid-term, say 4 to 6 months, because that's what we do. So you think about this, like right now, you do the training, and in 4 to 6 months, if you have a very intense 4 to 6 months, where you give your best every day, you make the sacrifices that your friends and your peers aren't willing to make because it's too uncomfortable to learn a new skill outside of work, then you gotta be the one who says, I'm willing to do that. And when you see my students that get results, they went through the same intense 4 to 6 months that I went through during my first rookie year. That's what I go through, so that's how I know how to teach, and that's the only way I know, the only realistic way I know, to go through all the unknown variables enough times to say I have completed the learning curve. Not that I'm a master or whatever, but at least I feel secure that if I take a call now, I know what to do. If I text a prospect now, I know what to do. If an influencer wants me to close for him or her, I know what to do. When you reach that point, everything you do will be impacted by your setting, branding, and closing skills. Even in your job. I've seen people during the transition, what they learn from this remote world, it actually directly benefit their performance at work as well. So overall, this whole independent journey of taking more and more ownership of your mindset, your strategy, your skills, your ability to think and solve problems independently. You want to join a community, that's great. But independently, you are strong. You join a team, you're also strong. Then this way of looking at life, you can stand on your own 2 feet, and whatever problem comes your way, you don't have to ask me, hey, can I approach this problem part-time? You already know your answer. You're going to go at it at your best. There's no part-time, there's no full-time. There's only a strategy that makes sense for you. So if you have watched up to this point and you want to talk to me personally, and no, I'm not going to close you or anything like that, although I could, but I'm honestly quite tired after, like right now, you see my hair is my bedtime. Okay, I'm quite tired after taking 4, 5, 6 calls each day and doing all my setting work, texting. I will give you whatever you need. If you want to work with me, if you don't want to work with me, you can just do a call with me, and I am not going to close you or anything. We'll just do a session, and then I will be happy to meet you, answer whatever questions that you have, okay, and send you whatever you need for about 20-30 minutes. All I ask for is at the end, you just leave me a testimonial, okay, and that's it. I could use our call for more content, to share what I teach you. I record like this, and then I share with more people. And the most important thing is, when you talk to me, we will map out a personalized strategy for you based on your schedule, based on your income goals. And you must have a lot of questions about how this works, how that works, what can I do, and I will answer all your questions on that call. So the link to the transition training will be in the comments. The link to book a call will be in the comments as well. I really hope that you can do your best to complete the transition training. Then you book the call with me, so that on the call, I can see your work and there's actually things to review, and then we can save time and do up that plan together. Then you can look into your future 4-6 months and know that, okay, I'm still in my 9 to 5, but I'm gonna get out of it, and this is how I'm gonna get out of it. Okay, so I hope this video makes sense and you got the answers and clarity that you were searching for. Any comments, questions, feedback, just reach out on social media and send it my way. And check out the rest of my videos, do the transition training, and then I'll talk to you soon. Okay, cheers.